First Alert Weather Extra with a few showers today. The heat continues to ramp up. We're on your side with how hot we're expecting it to get for your weekend, and if you should keep that umbrella on standby.
And Wes, we're going to continue to bring the latest updates to you all on what's happening in the tropics, plus bring you the weather extra on rapid intensification and what that means for tropical systems.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
And right now, one number that just stands out on the screen, 92 degrees out there. Quite the warm up already, Tania.
Oh yeah, listen, those clouds, at first I didn't think I was a fan of them, but now I'm like, oh yeah, they can come back a little bit longer.
I know, I posted on Facebook, I said, August, we were just starting to get along, and now here we go, right? We've got the hot conditions. But listen, we're tracking some showers and storms back to the west. We really so far haven't seen as much rainfall today as what some of the models were suggesting, but I still think we're going to see that possibility in the evening. Let's go to radar here so we can show you what's going on. And you can see 91 in Tuscaloosa, 92 in Birmingham, 88 degrees out in Anniston, and a lot of storms over into parts of Mississippi. But thankfully, right now, across our area, at least in Shelby County, we're catching a break in the rain. As we go to meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Lauren, we're watching the radar closely, but looks like the weather at least is cooperating with what you have going on today. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Wes, here at Oak Mountain State Park, I would say it is rain-free, but the humidity is unrelenting. So summer is back in full force. So everyone's just wanting to fly and get outside today, including the rehabilitated Chimney Swifts here at Oak Mountain State Park at the Alabama Wildlife Center. And tonight, I came out here for a very special occasion. Those Chimney Swifts that have been rehabilitated at the Alabama Wildlife Center are now getting released back into the wild. And it's happening right now as we speak. And we have some folks who have come in from the community, and you see how their hands are clasped? There are actually birds in their hands. So are you guys ready to do this? Release them back into the wild? Okay, 3, 2, 1. What? Yay! Oh, yeah, this one's chilling. No, I heard it's pretty hot today. So, woo, look at them. Oh, they are having a great time. So, yeah, round of applause, everyone. This was so cool. And if you don't know what a chimney swift is, they are actually a bird that can sometimes roost in chimneys. If you think about a bird, when they perch on a branch, they kind of stand upright. Chimney swifts don't have the ability to do that. But just because they don't have the ability to do that doesn't mean they're not super cool. They are actually one of the fastest birds on the planet. They can get up to speeds of 60 miles per hour. But the problem with chimney swifts, and here on First Alert Weather Extra, we always want to give you that extra something and cover important stories like conservation. Their populations have been declining because of things like deforestation and the use of insecticides, because they are actually insectivores. And even in colder months, they'll head down to areas like South America to chase those insects. Of course, they're here right now because the mosquitoes are mosquitoing, of course. But we wanted to make sure to give you all that first alert that here at Oak Mountain State Park, they are doing great work at the Alabama Wildlife Center and the Alabama Audubon Society. So we'll continue on Weather Extra in the week ahead to give you updates on how you can help out the local birds here in Alabama and give back to important organizations like this. You're a reporter in places like Oak Mountain where it is blistering hot, but good stuff going on. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan, WBRC 6 News, on your side.
All right, Lauren, great job out there. That looks like so much fun, and great to see Lauren out at Oak Mountain State Park, and always a fun time out at Oak Mountain. We certainly appreciate everything they're doing out there. Montevallo right now, speaking of Shelby County, we're at 88 degrees and plenty of sun still making it through, but watching back to the west here, there's a lot of storm activity. It's always amazing how it's just like it's like there's an invisible wall up right here, right along the state line. All the rain and storms just over into Mississippi, but there's still a chance. I think Lamar, Marion, Pickens County, at least in the short term. Let's keep a watch on some of those storms might try to build in. Across East Alabama, certainly things are much quieter today and no issues. That's a good news after the flood concerns yesterday. Jasper back into northern Tuscaloosa County, looks like maybe a couple of isolated showers showing up, but this is just one of those evenings coming up here. We're in good shape right now, but next few hours, even later tonight, there might still be an isolated storm or two out there. So we still need to watch it. We'll hold on to that rain chance, especially since we really haven't had as much rain today to really work down those temperatures, work over the atmosphere. So just stay alert. Just check the app in case there is a rogue storm. Model data still suggesting maybe something isolated out there around 8 o'clock tonight, and eventually past midnight. Of course, things much quieter. Might be some fog around early in the day as well, so plan for that early in the day tomorrow. We'll be tracking a morning low clouds, some patchy fog, and then we'll have some improvements during the afternoon. But right now, another big story, the tropics and what's happening. We want to head over to meteorologist Tania Michelle. And first off, Tania, one system that we are watching is one that is over the southwest Gulf. And I see you've got the out the door forecast, but we'll be talking about the tropics as well here coming up.
Yeah, I have both of it, Wes. Here we are first looking out the door. For those of you getting ready for your Friday, the good news is the tropics won't be a major issue, and really no issue for us across central Alabama tomorrow. There will be a slight chance for some wet weather. Temperatures in the 90s. Going to be a hot day. Make sure you're staying hydrated. But speaking of the tropics, we got to watch it. We have a couple of disturbances that we're paying attention to. Tropical storm Erin out in the Atlantic, but the one I want to focus on right now is this disturbance that's trying to brew up in the Gulf. It's going to eventually move inland, but will it impact the United States? Well, it looks like South Texas really needs to pay a close eye on that. It's got about a 40% chance of development as of right now, which is a medium chance, but we're keeping our eye on it. It could likely bring some flood risk to the southern portions of Texas. As far as the Gulf Coast where we're at, South Alabama, our Alabama coast, we're not seeing issues or posing a threat to our area. But again, we'll keep our eye on it and let you know if we see any changes on that coming up very soon and in the days ahead. Well, we love to talk about what's happening all across the world, but now I want to focus on what's happening in the central Atlantic with what will and may eventually be Hurricane Erin. And with Hurricane Erin, we're going to go to break right now. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll be back talking more about Hurricane Erin right here in just a few minutes.
So the climate nerd in me really wanted to look back at the first 2 weeks of August and how temperatures have been trending, because we started off right where we should be for this time of year, 90 degrees on the first day of the month, and then we saw a consistent tick down. Look, the 4th and the 5th, high temperatures hung out in the upper 70s, and we actually broke records, meaning we were the coolest days, the 4th and the 5th of August, that Birmingham has ever seen. Then we gradually began that warm up once again. But look, temperatures have been holding in the past week or so in the upper 80s and low 90s, right where we should be for this time of year. But because we had that 2-day period of highs in the 70s, it's knocked our average temperature for the afternoon below average. Birmingham, we've been averaging about 86. Normal's 91 for both Tuscaloosa and Anniston. Tuscaloosa has been averaging around 87 and Anniston right around 84. Now, listen, it's not that bad when you look at the weather extremes in August. The hottest day on record for the month comes up tomorrow. Birmingham, 105 was the record set back in 2007. Tuscaloosa's 107 in 07, and then in Anniston 106 from 1983. So I don't think we see that, but those numbers make me want to count down to fall. Look at how close we are to those pumpkin spice lattes. 39 days away till September 22nd.
Well, thanks, Megan. The one thing that I want to send our attention back to is what's happening in the tropics. We briefly talked about a disturbance that was in and that's brewing in the Gulf right now, possibly posing a threat later on to Mexico and the southern portions of Texas. But this isn't a named storm. There is a named storm out there, and that's Tropical Storm Erin that could rapidly intensify into a hurricane. To talk more about rapid intensification, we have meteorologist Wes Wyatt to give us a little breakdown on what that is a little bit better.
Yeah, a lot of systems to get to out there, and And you know, speaking of rapid intensification, exactly what you've been talking about with Tania, that system over the Gulf. I mean, we saw a disturbance and developing quickly. Right now with Aaron, we've been monitoring a tropical storm for most of the week, and what it will do is go through rapid intensification. As first off, you've got lower wind shear, you've got warmer water temperatures, those two key ingredients, and a lot of the models suggesting that it's still going to make a turn back to the north and more of a northwest and then eventually northerly direction. Here's the official track from the National Hurricane Center. When you look at this cone of uncertainty, keep in mind it's factoring in all possible scenarios with all the models, the ensembles, the probabilistic outlook. And as it turns north, some data today did shift slightly to the west, which would mean still around Cape Hatteras and those places there certainly need to be weather alert as that passes by. This will grow into a major hurricane. It will certainly generate some unsettled surf out along the east coast as that churns up the water and it moves north, but the water is plenty warm. Anytime you see those temperatures, especially over 80 degrees, that's the key ingredient. That's why June 1st is the start of hurricane season. We don't have these issues during the winter season. It's that warm water that is the key, and it feeds into these. And when you have very calm conditions, lower wind shear, these things are like a top. You remember the toy, the little spinning top. Once they spin and they start to develop, the pressures in the lower, and then the wind speeds pick up. So that's what we mean by rapid intensification. And sometimes they can intensify so quickly and then they'll start to sort of have an eye wall replacement cycle, and they'll kind of weaken and then re-intensify again. But all the conditions point to this becoming a hurricane over the next few days. Thankfully, it stays out of the Gulf. But we'll continue to track Aaron. We'll talk more about your weekend forecast. That's all coming up.
Thanks, Wes. Well, now we want to take you all around the world to Canada, where wildfires are continuing. The latest breaking out today were really Tuesday afternoon, where officials had to evacuate an outpatient center and cancel appointments. This comes as over 700 active fires continue across Canada, with the season being fueled by hot weather and drought conditions. Over 18 million acres have burned since the beginning of the year. And check this out. In England, video capturing a rare dust devil as it moves through a village. Firefighters responding to the reports after it was spotted moving through an area that was just impacted by the fire. Dust devils are typically small, but they form on hot, dry surfaces, picking up dust and debris as it rotates. Crews are working to dampen down dry spots in the hopes of lowering the risk for any other dust devils being formed. And coming up, we're gonna show those viewer photos. You know we love to. If we don't show yours today, that's okay. You can always submit yours on the First Alert Weather app, but we have some to show off right here after the break.
Hey, welcome back into Weather Extra. So glad to have you with us this evening. Today, the rain really holding off for a good part of the day, so that's allowed this heat to really crank up out there. But there's some storms just over into Mississippi. Notice this is live from Lamar County. This is over along the state line near Vernon. Quite a bit of lightning that we're starting to see right there close to Avadian Credit Union in Vernon. That's one of our Sky Vision cameras at 79 degrees, so those storms trying to develop there closer to Vernon. Look at all this lightning in here. There's just very isolated showers, but that ridge is starting to have its impact on our state. We talked about the heat dome, right? Starting to build back in, limiting the rain chances. But with all these storms back over into Mississippi, and especially starting to fire up some real intense storms right now, right along Highway 82. This is Columbus, Mississippi, over here in the Golden Triangle. You can see from West Point back towards Starkville, very strong storms. We saw some severe thunderstorm warnings, some intense lightning, but look at that lightning strike count. Check this out. Over the past, this is just 15 minutes, 773 lightning strikes over the past 15 minutes. So with those kind of storms happening, these might start to develop a bit further east. So let's just watch it here in West Alabama, giving you that first alert there for the possibility of storms. Model data suggesting we just still need to keep an eye out for some development through late tonight. That's showing 9 o'clock, some brand new data. It's even showing maybe some rain reaching us over here in the East Alabama. Not a lot happening right now, though. If you're about to run an errand, head out to grab a bite going out this evening. But just know that tonight these storm chances are not just going to totally end once the sun sets. We're probably going to have a little bit of rain still around. But there you go. There's Friday. You can see the pop-up showers and storms coming back during the afternoon. Highs back in the 90s. We're going to hold on to this forecast. It looks like through the weekend, and the heat index is going to be rising into the triple-digit range. It looks like we're going to see those readings as high as 104, 105 degrees over the next few days. Monday and Tuesday coming in hotter into early next week. Of course, we talked about the tropical systems there, both that system over the southwest Gulf and also Aaron staying well away from us over the next few days. But latest advisory, it's not far from being a hurricane. Maximum winds now up to 60 miles per hour. There's that 10-day forecast. Afternoon storms very isolated through the weekend. We take it into next week, and we're going to be dealing with those rain chances around 30 to 40%. Afternoon highs will be back in the 80s. A front that's going to move in, and it looks like it's going to stall out. We were thinking maybe some drier air would help bring maybe a little taste of fall late next week, but what it looks like what's going to happen, a front moves in and it stalls, so it stays kind of sticky, but we'll see higher rain chances and lower temperatures. But right now, meteorologist Tania Michelle is going to talk a little bit more about beyond the 7 day, and you and I were discussing that next week, Tania. Yesterday, it looked like we might get some low humidity, but maybe it might end up being quite the opposite. Very humid, but a little bit lower on the temperatures.
Yeah, the temperature is a little lower, but more rain, meaning that there may not be long periods of the day for you to get outside, to mow your lawn, to do things like that. But again, this is beyond the 7 day, West, so it's just something we have to watch.
And a lot can change. I mean, this is way out there.
Yeah, it's way out there. But breaking it down a little bit more, giving you an idea of what it may look like heading into the end of the month of August. This is the 22nd through the 28th. As we look across the United States, seeing below average temperatures for the Northeast, up towards Minneapolis, Chicago, Illinois, but much of the United States still dealing with the heat. More above average temperatures are expected, and that includes us right here across central Alabama. So the heat isn't going anywhere anytime soon. That means you still need to implement all heat safety tips. Okay, you heard me. Here we are looking at our precipitation outlook, though, across the United States. A good mix for us here at home. Nothing crazy. It looks like we'll be seeing near average rainfall as we approach August 22nd to the 28th. And I kind of want to walk you through what that looks like over the next several days. So here's one of our future model runs showing you beyond the 7 day. You can see how it's a little unsettled across the southeast as we bring in Friday, the 22nd of this month. That's Friday, 5 o'clock. Still seeing some moisture and some showers, activity, and maybe even a few storms across central Alabama. This is Saturday, the 23rd. Still looks a little wet. Doesn't mean a washout, not necessarily, but this just gives us a hint that, hey, some clouds may stick around, and that may bring us occasional rain showers and storms. Here we are looking at the 26th, seeing a better chance for maybe some stormy weather across central Alabama. The 27th doesn't look terrible, but doesn't look completely completely dry. So as we look forward in those days ahead, looking beyond the 7-day, more of that 8 to 14-day time frame out from now, it still looks like we're in a more unsettled pattern overall. But again, it's the summertime. Afternoon showers and storms are nothing new. But we'll continue to keep you up to date on what you can expect beyond the 7-day, of course, Monday through Friday right here on Weather Extra. But let's talk about this. A new report by Environment America showing that Americans are embracing clean energy at a growing rate. In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Carice Jackman speaks with the report's authors about what this shift means for your wallet and the environment.
As the U.S. transitions towards cleaner power, Lisa Frank with Environment America Research and Policy Center is tracking the trend.
The great news is our new report, the State of Renewable Energy 2025, found that America actually gets 3 times as much power from the sun, the wind, and geothermal as we did a decade ago. And that growth, that progress is happening in all 50 states, including some surprising places.
The report highlights states like South Dakota, Iowa, Kansas, New Mexico, Wyoming, and Oklahoma as leaders in renewable energy generation. And it's not just about wind and solar. The growth of electric vehicles and battery storage is also playing a major role.
We saw significant growth in Southeast states across the board, especially when it comes to solar power.
To help consumers stay informed, Environment America created an interactive dashboard that breaks down renewable energy usage state by state. But the organization admits clean energy often comes with a high upfront cost.
How will this directly impact consumers?
You don't have to do anything to get the sun to shine or the wind to blow, and it's going to keep happening forever. We just need the technology that can harness that power and pipe it into our homes and our cars and our appliances. The challenge, though, is that adopting that technology can be pretty expensive upfront. So installing solar on your house could cost you $20,000 or $30,000.
That's why, if you're thinking about clean energy, Frank recommends planning carefully and comparing options.
I definitely recommend coming up with a plan, thinking about what's important to you and your family, and how those savings can help you get there.
With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
I love that. Anything to help the planet and our environment. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a final check of your weather. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra. We'll see you back after the break. It's time to look at some of those beautiful weather photos. This one sent in by Lisa E. Day on the Farm.
Man, that's a postcard.
Yes.
Look at that. And how about this lovely view from Lisa Robertson in Tuscaloosa? Nice rainbow there by the flag, and beautiful view there with those nice. We've seen a lot of rainbow photos this week.
We really have. It's those clouds, Wes. It does it for us. Kathy Watts sunset in West Blockton. Another rainbow.
And how about another rainbow? This one from Mountville, Alabama. Stephanie Davis sharing this lovely view. I had someone shared one from Stewart yesterday, so a lot around Mountville down in Hale County. A lot of those rainbow photos yesterday. You can always tell where those storms pop up during the afternoon. But listen, continue to send those in. First Alert weather app, a great way to get those to us. If you even I get a lot from Twitter and Facebook. Folks send, I say weather photo warriors out there.
Honestly, and I love showing them, like, you know.
Hey, it's always good having eyes in the sky, right? You know,
Absolutely.
it's our ground truth, and but we want everybody to be safe, right?
Yes.
Not out in the storms. But hey, speaking of storms, I checked on this a minute ago, Tania. Now, what you see on the screen with these storms, look at that lightning strike count. 1,579 lightning strikes in 15 minutes.
I know. These storms can really get strong this time of the year.
Yeah,
It's
if you're
amazing.
wondering where this is.
Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi. So this is over in the Mississippi. There's West Alabama. But I'm showing you this if you're in Lamar County. Well, I pulled up the camera at Vernon at Avadian Credit Union. You can already see the lightning there off to the west. But some strong storms there. Need to watch it along those western counties especially.
Absolutely. So if you're over in Lamar County, even Pickens County, keep your eye on our First Alert weather app.
That's right. In
And
case
get
those
updates
storms,
from us tonight.
I think we're going to see development that's going to continue well past sunset. So yeah, check in with us tonight, first at 9. Of course, we'll see you back here at 10. We'll have the latest advisories on Aaron. Might be a hurricane by then. We'll see you tonight.
Yeah, we'll let you know. Stay with us. Have a wonderful evening. We'll see you back here a little bit later.
See you tonight.